Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Every verse of the Holy Quran has a context, background, and a reason for its revelation. So, what is the reason for the revelation and the context of the verse Rafa'ahu Allahu ilayh? Yes, this is the famous verse about which there is disagreement among scholars. Some say that this verse proves that Isa, peace be upon him, was raised alive to the heavens, while others believe that it actually indicates the death of the Messiah. So, in today's video, let's take a deep look at this verse and lift the veil on its mystery. This verse from Surah An-Nisa actually begins with a particular theme, and that theme starts from verse number 157. But before we discuss this verse, there is a claim made by the Holy Quran that seems very important to mention here. Wherever the Holy Quran mentions Hazrat Isa and his mother, wherever they are mentioned, one special purpose is to refute the objections raised by the Jews and Christians against these two revered personalities. In this regard, Allah the Exalted says in the Holy Quran, "Wa mutahiruka minalladina kafaru," meaning, O Isa, peace be upon him, I will purify you from all the objections and accusations made against you by the disbelievers. Through the Holy Quran, Allah has removed all the accusations made against Isa, peace be upon him, and his mother. Now, after this fundamental introduction, let us turn to Surah An-Nisa, which is the subject of our discussion at this moment. In verses 157 to 159 of Surah An-Nisa, 4 objections raised by the Jews against Isa, peace be upon him, and his mother are mentioned, and in these very verses their refutations are also presented. The first objection is mentioned in the words wa bikufrihim wa qawlihim ala Maryama buhtanan azima, in which the Jews made a vile attack on the character of Hazrat Maryam, which is directly related to the beginning of Isa's life. The Jews accused regarding the birth of Isa, peace be upon him, that, God forbid, his mother was not chaste, and that his birth, meaning the beginning of his life, was illegitimate, which is not befitting of a true prophet. In fact, the Jewish encyclopedia even records that there was a Roman soldier named Panthera, and as a result of an illicit relationship with him, God forbid Isa, peace be upon him, was born. The Quran responded to this filthy accusation by declaring it a word of disbelief and a great slander against Maryam, peace be upon her. Furthermore, in another verse, it is stated that Maryam, peace be upon her, was Siddiqah, truthful and righteous. Then, in a third verse, it is said that she protected her chastity, she safeguarded her honor. فَأَحْسَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا فَنَفَخْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ رُوحِنَا. We breathed into her of our spirit. As a result, by way of a miraculous and divine intervention, and as a clear sign from Allah, she conceived, and Isa, peace be upon him, was born without a biological father. Now, in the very next verse of Surah An-Nisa, the second significant objection is explicitly mentioned, in which the Jews claimed, Inna qatalna al-Masih, Isa ibn Maryam, meaning, we have indeed killed the Messiah, Isa son of Mary. According to established Jewish law, that is, the sacred Torah, it is clearly recorded that one undeniable sign of a false prophet is that he is ultimately killed. Therefore, if the Jews had truly managed to kill or have Isa, peace be upon him, killed, it would have been undeniable proof, God forbid, that Isa, peace be upon him, was not a true prophet of Allah. The comprehensive answer to this profound objection is graciously given by Allah in the very same verse, saying, Wa ma qataluhu, meaning the Jews certainly make this strong objection that they killed Isa, peace be upon him, but I tell you that they were never truly able to kill him. There are countless compelling arguments and undeniable evidences in the Bible itself that conclusively prove the Jews were ultimately unsuccessful in killing or having Isa, peace be upon him, killed. Now let us take their third objection, which is also presented in the same verse of Surah An-Nisa. Among the Jews, there is a belief that Isa, peace be upon him, was killed by crucifixion at the hands of the Romans. This is also mentioned in the New Testament of the present-day Bible, and Christians also hold this belief. The real purpose of this objection too is to declare the prophethood of Isa, peace be upon him, as invalid. Thus, in the Jewish law, the Torah, it is written that whoever is killed on the cross dies an accursed death and is under God's curse. Such a person is considered distant from God and in the grip of Satan. Therefore, a person who is killed by crucifixion can never be considered a good or pious person, let alone be accepted as a true prophet of God. Hence, Allah Almighty refuted this objection in the same verse of Surah An-Nisa in the Holy Quran saying, "Wa ma salabuhu," meaning they, the Jews, did not kill Isa, peace be upon him, by crucifixion either. Some people, including some scholars, object here by saying that they could not crucify only means that he was not put on the cross. However, this interpretation is completely contrary to the meaning of the word crucifixion. The word crucifixion includes being killed on the cross. If someone is put on the cross but does not die, it cannot be said that he was crucified, because the purpose of crucifixion is to kill by putting someone on the cross, and if that purpose is not fulfilled, the term does not apply. The term is only used when someone is put on the cross and dies as a result. So, the words wa ma salabuhu only refute the claim that Isa, peace be upon him, died on the cross. But they do not deny that the Jews did indeed put him on the cross in order to prove, according to their claim, that he was a false prophet. Now comes the fourth and final objection. The Jews say that Isa, peace be upon him, whose birth was, God forbid, illegitimate, who was killed, whereas according to Jewish law a true prophet cannot be killed, and that too by crucifixion, which is an accursed death according to the law of Moses. According to this law, the soul of such a person is not raised to God, but is instead cast down into the depths of the earth, into hell. In reality, the Jewish belief is that the souls of the righteous are raised to Allah after death, that is, they are elevated, while the souls of the wicked are cast into hell, which they imagine to be in the depths of the earth. In other words, the opposite of elevation. Allah Almighty answered this objection with these words, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا بَلْ رَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ, meaning the Jews certainly did not succeed in killing him. Rather, Allah raised him up to himself. This single phrase refuted the Jewish objection that the Messiah was not a righteous servant of Allah, but, God forbid, a false prophet who died an accursed death. Allah said that this is absolutely not the case, because his soul was raised to me. Thus, it is proven that he was righteous, true in his claim, a true prophet of Allah, who did not die an accursed death, but after a long time following the incident of the cross, died a natural death and was raised to Allah. In this way, the Quran Kareem refuted all four objections of the Jews, and this is a great favor of the Quran and Muhammad Rasulullah, peace be upon him, upon Isa, peace be upon him, and his mother, that he defended them and declared these noble personalities pure and free from the objections of the Jews and Christians. Because these verses were not fully understood in their proper context, many Muslim scholars developed the mistaken belief that Isa, peace be upon him, was not put on the cross at all, but rather that Allah raised him up to the heavens. However, the word heaven is not explicitly used for Isa, peace be upon him, in this verse of the Holy Quran, nor in any other verse, nor is there any mention in any authentic hadith that Isa, peace be upon him, was raised up to the heavens with his body by Allah. This is an important point to note. If you want to learn more about the significant events that took place in Isa, peace be upon him, life between his rescue from the incident of the cross and his natural death after a long period, there is a valuable book available on www.alislam.org called Jesus in India, Masih Hindustan Mein. Please read it and study it thoroughly. May Allah reward you abundantly. Muhammadur Rasulullah.